All right, so today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the life of Malala Yousafzai
Oh, yeah.
through her autobiography, I Am Malala.
Hmm.
And everyone probably knows her
Yeah.
as the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate.
Right.
And the girl who stood up to the Taliban
Yeah.
advocated for girls' education and incredibly was shot for it.
Yeah. And survived.
Yeah.
Which is a truly amazing story.
Yeah, it's so powerful how it intertwines with the whole, the situation in Pakistan. Like
Yeah.
it's a personal story, but it gives you this glimpse into a culture that's, grappling with these huge issues of women's rights
Yeah.
and what it means to challenge the way things are.
And how dangerous it can be.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's start in the beginning
Okay.
with Malala's early life in Swat Valley.
Mm-hmm.
She talks about the beautiful valley in the mountains.
Yeah.
But even in her idyllic childhood, there are these hints of the challenges to come.
Well, it's so interesting. Like she describes the beauty of the area.
Right. But then also mentions how her father, fired his gun in celebration of her birth,
Oh, wow.
which is a tradition usually reserved for sons.
Oh,
So it kind of shows right from the start that her family was different.
yeah.
They valued her, they encouraged her education,
Right.
which wasn't the case for many girls.
And her father, Ziauddin Yousafzai, he went even further than that.
Right.
By founding this Kushal school,
Mm-hmm.
which became kind of a symbol of hope in their community.
Absolutely.
And it's clear that he was so passionate about education
Yeah.
and really instilled that in Malala,
Mm-hmm.
made her believe that education was the key to a
Yeah.
better future.
Yeah.
Not just for herself, but for all girls.
And that's really where we see education become so central to her story.
Right.
It wasn't just about learning facts.
Mm-hmm.
It was about freedom and opportunity and shaping your own destiny.
Yeah.
And she really thrived in that environment. Her school was her second home,
Yeah.
a place where she could explore freely and learn without restrictions.
Yeah. But that freedom was about to be challenged in
Yeah.
a very dramatic way.
In a big way.
With the rise of the Taliban
Right.
in Swat,
Yeah.
they slowly started controlling everything using radio broadcasts to spread their beliefs and enforce this very strict version of Islamic law.
Yeah, it was gradual.
Yeah.
You can feel the tension rising as she describes how things changed little by little.
Yeah.
First came the restrictions on women's clothing and their movement.
Right.
Then it escalated to bans on girls attending school.
Oh, wow.
Beauty salons were shut down.
Really?
Women were confined to their homes.
Wow.
This was their strategy
Yeah.
to use fear and control to reshape
Hmm.
society
Right.
according to their interpretation of Islam.
And the schools became targets.
Yeah.
Like these symbols of hope and opportunity systematically destroyed.
Mm.
Malala talks about the terrifying sound of explosions at night.
It's chilling
Yeah.
to think about, these places of learning being turned into rubble.
And that was a direct attack on the future of girls.
Absolutely.
Denying them education meant denying them a voice,
Mm-hmm.
a chance to improve their lives and contribute to their community.
And it worked.
Right.
I mean, many families were too afraid to send their daughters to school.
I can't even imagine living with that constant fear.
Yeah.
She even mentions feeling like anyone on the street
Right.
could be a Taliban member,
Mm-hmm.
watching, waiting.
It's a terrifying thought.
But even in the face of this terror,
Yeah.
her commitment to education
Mm.
only grew stronger.
This is where you see her incredible courage and resilience.
Yeah,
While others gave in,
right.
she and her father refused to be silenced.
Yeah.
They understood the power of education,
Mhm.
and they saw it as something worth fighting for, even at great personal risk.
And that fight wasn't just about going to school. It was
Wow.
about speaking out. When
Right.
she was just 11 years old,
11.
she started writing this anonymous blog for the BBC about life under Taliban rule.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable how brave she was.
That blog was more than just words.
Right.
It was an act of defiance,
Mhm.
a way to give a voice to the countless girls who were being silenced.
Yeah.
It was a raw, unfiltered account
Right.
of what they were experiencing,
Mm.
and it captured the attention of the world.
Yeah.
It made her a symbol of resistance.
But sadly, that same bravery that made her a symbol
Yeah.
also made her a target.
Mm-hmm.
The Taliban declared her an enemy,
Yeah,
and their intolerance just wouldn't allow her dissent.
right.
So this brings us to that terrifying turning point,
Mm-hmm.
the attack on the school bus.
Reading her description of that day is just chilling.
Yeah.
She talks about like the ordinary bus ride,
Right?
chatting with friends, completely unaware of the danger.
Yeah.
And then suddenly armed men board the bus,
Oh my God.
demanding to know who is Malala.
Wow.
It's a moment that changes everything
And then they shot her.
at point blank range.
At point blank range.
It was a horrific act,
Yeah.
meant to silence her.
Yeah.
But you know what? It backfired.
Yeah.
Instead of silencing her, it amplified her message.
Right.
It sparked outrage and support from around the world.
Yeah.
It transformed her from a local advocate into a global symbol
Oh.
of the fight for girls' education
Yeah.
and against extremism.
And remarkably, she survived.
I know.
Her recovery is just a testament to her strength
Yeah,
and the incredible care she received.
absolutely.
She was airlifted to a military hospital in Pakistan and then transferred to a specialized unit in England
Right.
for multiple surgeries and months of rehabilitation.
Yeah, but her journey was far from over.
Right.
What's important to remember is that even as she was recovering,
Yeah.
her story was met with mixed reactions in Pakistan.
Oh, really?
Some questioned her account,
Wow.
while others saw her as a tool of Western influence.
No, gosh.
And even in recovery, she faced threats from the Taliban. A stark reminder of the dangers she continued to face for speaking out.
It's a stark reminder of the complexities of speaking out against extremism, especially in a place like Pakistan. Even with global support,
Right.
she remained a target,
Yeah,
a symbol of the struggle against forces that sought to suppress dissent.
absolutely.
But despite these challenges, Malala refused to be defined by the attack. Instead, she used it as fuel to further her mission.
Right.
And we'll delve deeper into that incredible journey in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
But before we do, what struck you most about Malala's story so far?
I think what really gets me is just her unwavering belief in the power of education.
Yeah.
Like, even in the face of such incredible danger,
Right.
she never wavered.
Right.
She knew that education was the key to a better future.
Yeah.
Not just for herself,
Right.
but for all girls.
It's truly inspiring.
It is.
And it makes you think about what we can all do to
Yes.
support that mission.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that more in the next part of
Yeah.
our deep dive.
Looking forward to it.
So stay tuned. It's truly inspiring how instead of letting this horrific attack break her,
Yeah.
Malala used it as a springboard to reach an even wider audience
Right.
with her message.
Yeah. Her journey from a schoolgirl writing a blog to like a global advocate for peace and education.
Right.
It's just remarkable.
It is.
A testament to the power of the human spirit
Yeah.
to overcome adversity.
And she didn't just speak out in general terms.
No.
She took concrete actions. Like,
Yeah.
she delivered that powerful speech at the UN on her 16th birthday and founded the Malala Fund,
Right.
which actively works to ensure every girl has access to education.
That UN speech was pivotal.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine her standing before world leaders,
Right.
not as a victim, but as a force to be reckoned with.
Right.
She directly challenged the status quo, stating that the Taliban, in trying to silence her,
Right.
had inadvertently given her an even bigger platform.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And the Malala Fund,
Right.
it's not just talk,
Right.
it's action.
Yeah. They're working on the ground. In countries where girls face the biggest hurdles to education, they're advocating for changes in laws. They're empowering local communities to create real, lasting change.
It's amazing what she's been able to accomplish.
It really is.
And it's so fascinating to see how she navigates
Yeah.
the often murky waters of global politics and advocacy,
Right.
while always keeping her core message front and center.
Yeah.
She's met with presidents and prime ministers,
I know.
celebrities, everyday people, using every opportunity to shine a light
Right.
on the importance of education for girls.
And let's not forget her book, I Am Malala,
Right.
the one we're exploring in this deep dive, which became a global bestseller and took her message even further,
It really did.
inspiring countless people.
That book is such a powerful example of storytelling's ability to connect with people from all walks of life.
Yeah, it takes the struggle for girls' education and makes it personal, making it resonate with readers on a deeply human level.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about her own experiences. Malala uses her story to bring attention to these broader issues like poverty, gender inequality,
Right.
the need for quality education
Yeah.
for all children,
For everyone.
not just girls.
Exactly.
She recognizes that education is about more
Yes.
than just acquiring knowledge. It's
Right.
about empowerment, breaking cycles of poverty,
Yeah.
and creating a world that is more just and equitable for everyone.
That's it.
It's clear that for her, education is a fundamental human right,
Yes.
not a privilege.
It should be.
And she's dedicated her life to making that right a reality for girls everywhere.
And it's so inspiring
Yeah.
to see how her story has sparked action from others.
Right.
Countless individuals and organizations
Yeah.
motivated by her example
Right.
to support girls' education initiatives and advocate for change.
It shows how one person's courage
Yeah.
can create a ripple effect
Absolutely.
that spreads far and wide.
It really does.
It truly speaks to the power of individual action
Mhm.
and how even in the face of what seem like impossible odds,
Right.
change is possible
Yeah.
when people stand up for what's right.
Absolutely.
However, it's crucial to acknowledge
Yeah.
that the fight is far from over.
Mhm.
You know, millions of girls are still denied education around the world.
True.
So this brings up an important question for all of us.
Okay.
What can we do
Right.
to contribute to this global effort?
Yeah. We might not all have a platform like Malala, but we can all find ways to make a difference.
Absolutely. We can support organizations working to improve girls' education. We can advocate for changes in policies,
Yeah.
and we can challenge the gender stereotypes we see in our own communities.
Absolutely.
Even small actions can have a ripple effect.
I think so.
Donating to a scholarship fund,
Mhm.
volunteering at a local school,
Yeah.
or even just having conversations
Right.
about how important girls' education is
Exactly.
can make a difference.
It all adds up.
Malala's story reminds us that we all have a part to play
Yeah.
in creating a world where every girl,
Yeah.
no matter where she is born,
Right.
has the chance to reach her full potential.
Absolutely.
But I'm curious,
Yeah.
what aspect of Malala's journey resonates most deeply with you?
You know, for me, it's her resilience. I mean, she faced unimaginable hardship,
Yeah,
but she never gave up on her dream
right.
of a better future.
Yeah,
It's a reminder to all of us
right.
that even in the darkest of times, hope can prevail.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is incredible to think about how one person's story can spark a global movement
Yeah.
and inspire so many.
It's true.
But as we've been discussing, you know, Malala's story also shines a light on the immense challenges
Yeah.
that still exist, even beyond her own experience.
Absolutely. If we zoom out and look at the bigger picture,
Yeah.
Malala's fight becomes a symbol
Right.
of this much larger fight for women's rights, not just in Pakistan,
Right.
but across the globe.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that a young girl
Right.
had to put her life on the line just to speak up for something as fundamental as education,
Right.
it's a stark reminder
Yeah.
of the inequalities that still exist.
Yeah, and it's not just about getting girls into a classroom.
It's not just about access.
Right.
It's about quality education,
Right.
safe learning environments,
Yeah.
and the freedom to pursue their dreams
Right.
without being limited by their gender.
Exactly. Malala's story challenges us
Yeah.
to look critically
Mm-hmm.
at the systems and the structures
Yeah.
that perpetuate these inequalities.
Yeah, it really does.
It's a call to examine our own biases, to challenge discriminatory practices, and to advocate for policies
Right.
that truly empower women and girls.
And it's a long road, you know?
Right.
Lasting change doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, it requires ongoing effort,
Absolutely.
collective action, and
Yeah.
a willingness to challenge the status quo,
It does.
even when it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it's crucial to remember
Right.
that there are countless other girls out there,
Yeah.
just like Malala,
Right.
who are fighting for their right to education,
Yeah.
to freedom,
Mm-hmm.
to a future where they can reach their full potential.
Right.
Their stories might not make international headlines,
Right.
but their struggles are just as real,
Yeah.
and their voices deserve to be heard.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Malala's story, what does it all mean for
Yeah.
us, the listeners?
Right.
What can we do within our own spheres of influence
In our own little corner of the world.
to make a difference?
It doesn't have to be some grand gesture.
Right.
It could be as simple as
Yeah.
supporting a local girls' school,
Mm-hmm.
mentoring a young woman in your community,
Right.
or speaking up when you witness gender bias.
Yeah.
Even educating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
about the specific challenges girls face
Right.
in different parts of the world
Yeah.
and supporting organizations that are working to address those issues
Right.
can be incredibly impactful.
It's about recognizing that we all have a part to play
I think so.
in creating a more just and equitable world.
Absolutely.
A world where every girl has the opportunity to thrive
Yeah,
and reach her full potential.
that's the goal.
Malala's story is a reminder that even one voice can spark a global movement.
Yeah.
And her courage is contagious. And her story shows that hope can triumph even in the darkest of times.
Yeah, her story is a powerful reminder
It is.
that we can all make a difference,
Yeah.
no matter how small.
It's a story that leaves us with a sense of responsibility, a
Yeah.
challenge to take what we've learned
Yeah,
and turn it into action.
absolutely.
Malala's fight is far from over,
It's not.
and we can all be a part of
No.
writing the next chapter.
That's a great way to put it.
So what small action will you take today?